I have noticed with the AI-ification of everything, there's actually a really lovely re-emphasis on live events. But, hot take.
This is Stephen Colbert's Hot Takes.
The good news is, despite the mildly clickbaity title, I've received 3 speaking requests in the last week. And in this video, I'm gonna share 3 ways that you can better position your work to actually get hired as a speaker or facilitator. Why listen to anything I say? 15 years ago, I was invited to give a TEDx talk. That started this series of speaking all around the world to some of the smartest leaders and educators, companies and organizations on the planet. And so having spoke to hundreds of thousands of people over the last year, being a professional speaker and facilitator, I'm gonna share what I believe event organizers really want and what I think everybody will very soon want in the near future. I was just on a call with somebody who's coordinating a conference for 1,500 professionals in healthcare. And as soon as we got on the call, they're like, okay, what are you gonna talk about? What are your ideas, whatnot? And before I said anything, I said, actually, just as a bit of connection before content, you're putting a whole bunch of puzzle pieces together for this event. What do you really hope the transformation is that when people walk out the door, what's shifted for them? And when you listen to that, right, people don't care about a speaker or a facilitator. They care about, does their event actually accomplish something? Do people have an experience that leaves them wanting to come back? Now, one really great way to calculate whether you've tapped into the full potential of 1,500 people in a room or not is to do a pinch of math. So calculate the expertise in the rooms. What I did live on the call with these organizers was say, okay, you got me on stage with a microphone, big screen behind me, and 1,500 healthcare professionals with an average, minimum average of, let's say, 10 years of experience. So on this side of the stage, there is 15,000 years of experience. If I'm the only one talking, you have not nearly tapped into what's possible in that room. And so fundamentally, instead of thinking about being a speaker and facilitator, especially a speaker and a presenter, more and more in the age where information, infinite, very personalized, hyper-specific, and most often accurate information is sitting in our pocket, one prompt away. If we continue down the model of just presenting information to people, there will not be an emphasis on live events. People do not come back to watch a presentation they could have watched on 2 times speed on YouTube. But what they will come back for is all the connections that happen in between that content, right? Often as you go to an event, if you think about events that have been really transformative for you, oftentimes it was some person you met in the hallway who was doing just the exact thing that you were doing, and you found so much camaraderie, similarity, they had solved the problem you had. It was that 1 5-minute chat that actually changed everything. It wasn't slide 47 of the keynote. The second way of better positioning, flipping this podium around, beyond actually sharing that metaphor of saying to an organizer or group, right, what we're gonna do here is actually put the audience in the position of their own expertise. And I do one other quick math problem, and then we leave math aside. Words per minute. The average person speaks at about 150 to 180 words per minute. I tend to talk a little fast, so I'm on the 180 end of things. So if it's me and 1,500 people for an hour, I'm speaking at 180 words a minute, and that's how many words will be exchanged if I talk the entire time. But the moment I ask a question that allows people to connect to why they're there, to connect to each other and to learn something from each other. The moment I do that, I literally take the word count and times it by 1,500. So there is the amount that's generated is 1,500 times more content than your one keynote. It's a heap lower effort to crowdsource all of that wisdom sharing and expertise to the group rather than relying on one person to do a really good job at the front of the room. That's actually a bit more of a risk as an organizer. It's like when you put a stranger up on stage, it's a flight risk. But when you invite people to connect with each other, the people that they came to connect with, right? You de-risk that stage completely, and you give people something that they will never, ever be able to type into AI and access. And so fundamentally, if you fit into the category of speaker or facilitator and you don't want to fall into the trap of not getting hired, here is my invite to you. Stop presenting and start inviting. Take all of your energy, attention, and focus, and when you're planning with a group, focus on what you're gonna invite them to do, not what you are gonna say. So last year, I did the opening keynote for the National Speakers Association. So a room full of professional speakers, and I talked for about 30% of the time. And I got a standing ovation at the end. I don't share that to brag, I share that to say, if you want a standing ovation, consider talking 70% less, right? Stop focusing on what you're presenting, start thinking about what you're gonna invite, what experience you're gonna invite the group into that is not replicable outside of that room. If you wanna see a really cool example of this, that TEDx talk that I mentioned I gave 15 years ago, if you click on the video linked somewhere around here, titled 5 Smart Ways to End a Meeting or Event, you will actually be able to watch the way that I closed that TEDx talk in a way that no other TEDx talk on earth has ever wrapped up. I'm Chad. If you liked this, you'll love the rest of it. Consider hitting subscribe. Have an awesome day.